Sitting in a Swedish classroom for the first time was quite an experience. I watched my classmates raise their hand when they had something to say, interrupt the teacher whenever they had questions, and hold open discussions with each other and the teacher at the same time. And sometimes that even looked like they were arguing with the teacher. But the teacher didn't seem to mind. Instead, seemed quite engaged and energized by it. The classroom was really active and a little bit chaotic too. It was completely normal to everyone except me. I sat there, didn't know what to do. I had never been trained to speak up like that. Growing up in China, having opinions and expressing them was not something that was encouraged. At school, we barely talked to the teachers. We just listened and took notes. Asking too many questions made you annoying. Questioning the teachers was never something I had witnessed. If anything, that would be seen as extremely rude. The concept of critical thinking was never introduced. Chinese classrooms were always quiet. You were expected to keep your head down and write down everything the teacher said. Then you step into the society as a young adult, followed by another set of rules. Unwritten, but everyone knew them. Don't stand out. Keep your thoughts to yourself. Silence is gold. Don't point out your supervisor's mistakes. Learn to give and save face of others. We grew up hearing sayings like this. The gun only points to the bird that sticks out. It's not a warning, it's just like a social survival manual that you need to know and also learn to apply. So the logic scales up like this. Do as your teacher says turns into do as your boss says. Don't question your teacher later turns into don't question authority. After I moved to Sweden, I went back to the school. My Chinese university degree was not recognized there, which meant I had to start from the beginning. I needed to get a Swedish high school qualification. Only then I could apply for higher education later. The question at that time that I was most afraid to get asked was, what do you think? Because I didn't know what to think. I was barely asked. I failed my history exam twice because of that. I wish I could remember what the question was, but I remember exactly what went through my head the first time I sat there and took it. In China, exams were about memory. Who could reproduce the textbook most accurately? I had excellent memory. I was good at not only passing exams, but also getting high scores. So I assumed that it worked the same in Sweden. And besides, that was an open book exam. I even thought, who came up with this stupid idea? Then everyone can pass. So, fairly quickly and confidently, I handed over my exam paper. 2 days later, to my surprise, I got an F. How is that possible? I copied the exact paragraph in a textbook. So I retook it again. Another F. I was so confused. So I went to my teacher, and she said something I've never forgotten. She said, Tia, I don't want you to tell me what's in the textbook said about what happened. I want you to tell me what you think about what happened. Why you think the way you do. Write down your thought process and your reasoning. First time in my student life, I was required to think for myself and say it out loud, not just waiting to be told what to think and say. Boy, was I hard. I was struggling. I passed the exam eventually, and it gave me a lesson for a lifetime. Over a decade in Sweden, I learned that it was safe to express myself, to speak up, to hold opinions, to make mistakes out and loud. But it still took me years to learn how to think independently and build the courage to express. 2 years ago, I moved back to China. Earlier this year, I started a channel on a Chinese platform. I was teaching English expressions and sharing learning tips. People really liked it and said it was really helpful. I was really excited, so I kept going. Then gradually, I noticed something weird started to happen. Some videos got thousands of views, while others only got 20 or 50. So I thought, it's just the algorithm. Who knows how algorithm works, right? I was just assuming it's having a PMS. But it kept on happening over and over again. So I looked into it and found out some of my content actually had been restricted for crossing lines I didn't know existed. I mean, I was only teaching English, but here's a list for everyone. A list of words and expressions that you cannot say. I actually have some of the examples written down for the filming of this video. Words like expensive, salary, country, money, first, best, drunk. Expressions like weight loss, good luck, constipation cure. And the thing is, it's not just about words. If the color grade of your video looked too much like a KTV or a nightclub, flagged. If the color was too low and there was any suggestion of a cleavage, flagged. So I sat there and I was reading this list and thought to myself, well, this is not really about which word I'm allowed to use or not. It's not like I'm ever going to put constipation cure in any of my video. It's about whether I can be myself in front of the camera. And that's when I felt the wall inside the wall, if you know what I'm saying. I couldn't have felt like this at 25. I would have just adjusted the way you do when you don't know the difference. Here's what happens once you've understood and experienced what it means to express yourself. That expressing yourself is not a privilege. It's not something that needs to be granted to you. It's part of being a human. You can't unlearn it. You can't devolve. It doesn't work that way. So I made a decision pretty quickly afterwards. I stopped posting there. If I can't say what I want to say, dress however I want, or even have a disco ball spinning behind me if I feel like it, I'll find someone else to do it. And that's how I ended up here on YouTube. When I look at this channel, I realized that this is also part of coming home as a different person than the one in my 20s. It took some time for me to get here, but at the same time, it feels like a very natural thing to do. I will never know how far this video will reach. You could be watching this anywhere in the world, and that still blows my mind a little. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.